Hey guys, welcome back to Ranger Survival and Fieldcraft. I'm Andrew. Now what I have for you today is my PSK, or my personal survival kit. Little did you know that throughout the last couple of years and all these videos that my PSK has actually been making special small cameos in a lot of different videos. And today we're going to go over that kit in detail. Stand by. Now, our personal survival kit, or PSK, needs to be bump-proof, drop-proof, and waterproof, that we can carry our kit with us into the field by placing inside our pocket. We have this metal crafting tin that could be a good kit, or any sort of container just like this, big enough to fit inside a pocket. But we have our ranger bands on the outside holding everything together, secure. And then we have, on top of that, electrical tape to waterproof the kit and help prevent the items from slipping out if we bump this a little too hard, say on a jump, or we're climbing down the side of a mountain. But our kit needs to be able to travel with us and contain all the possibilities to affect survival in any situation. The very first thing on the top of this kit, inside that lid or cover, is going to be a set or directions for signaling. Signaling from ground to air to alert search and rescue aircraft, plus give a different message or communicate. On the back of that sticker is going to be Morse code. Morse code, good to memorize or something to use in the field, especially if you know the POW tap code and you happen to be detained. You can use that to actually communicate between cells if captured. Also at the top of our kit is going to be that first blade. We have a good blade like this small buck 55 that we can take into the field, used to process materials such as wood, or if we get some game, we can process the game. We can easily process game down, making it meal-sized portions for us to save for later or eat on the spot. Plus, when we're done, we can give the extra or leftovers to our good old hunting dog. The commando wire saw is also on top. All the tools are going to be right on top, the main ones that we need to survive right away. Things to process down fire material and get a fire going quick, fast, and in a hurry, as well as signaling. But that commando saw, we can use two different ways. We can string it up between a sapling to create a bow saw, or we can grab some more cordage and create toggles at the end of that saw, making it a toggle saw to take down material easily in the field. Also on top, stormproof matches in their own waterproof container, that plastic bag. Inside our survival kit already, which is waterproof, showing you how important these are. Matches with a striker inside, so we can get a fire started quick, fast, and in a hurry, whether that's to get a warming fire, or boil some water, cook some food, or to get a signal fire lit for search and rescue. Next, we just have a mini or a hobby size tube of super glue for improvisation, as well as medical treatment into minor lacerations or cuts to stop bleeding. And then, of course, a flashlight right on top for emergency signaling as well. We have just this little button flashlight that we can use. It has 3 different settings on it: a bright, a dim light, and then a strobe for passive signaling at nighttime. In our personal survival kit, we also have birthday candles or trick candles, and we can also use beeswax candles. Those would work too if they fit inside the kit. But the purpose of these candles is to extend the life of our flame, especially from marginal material or minor tinder sources. We can use this candle because the flame will burn extra long to get a stove started, or we can use it doing improv, and with a little bit of lint from our cotton sock, we take that lint, light it with our spark light, and then we can actually transfer the small flame from that tinder before it burns out with that candle to our fire source and get that fire started for survival. And speaking of spark light, that is also on top, so we can use that with any tinder sources. It's just like an empty Bic lighter. It'll shoot sparks out because there's that wheel with the flint inside. We can use this to actually get a fire going with tinder sources around us, anything we have available for an emergency fire. And I recommend putting things in our tin that we can use as tools. One tool that we can use is a nail. We can sharpen the tip of that nail, use it for an awl or reamer, and we can also use it as a spear in an emergency. Also a tool, just a simple arrowhead that we can place inside of our kit. We can use this with a makeshift bow and arrow set if we happen to fashion one out of materials from the earth, or we can use it as just a simple spearhead. Next in our kit is just small 24 gauge wire. Wire is great because we can set up snares, we can use it for repair or improvisation. But with our wire, we want to cut this up into snare size portions if that is our intent. Cut it up before we go to the field and then simply wrap all the wire up to place it in our personal survival kit. That way, we're not out in the field banging rocks together trying to separate some wire. We also have different escape items in our kit. A handcuff key, a part of a hair barrette, and a bobby pin for picking and shimming, as well as opening up handcuffs and getting out of sticky situations. For cordage, because we have limited space in a container like this, we want to get the most bang for our buck. And the way we do that is with Kevlar cordage. Kevlar cordage is small but incredibly strong. This Kevlar cordage is approximately 25 feet inside of our personal survival kit, strong enough to use for just about anything. We also should have different medications inside of our kit. We can carry antibiotic ointment, aspirin, as well as antihistamine, anti-diarrhea medication, and pain or fever reducer medication for being out in the field. We should always have active, passive, day and night, as well as visual and auditory signals. One signal we can carry very easily in this kit is just a simple whistle that we can use to alert search and rescue to our presence. And right back there next to the whistle is going to be a button compass, a very well-used button compass that is somewhat faded and a little cloudy, but it still works great. If you're a fan of the show, then you've seen me use these quite a few times. Whirl-Pack drink bags and water treatment tablets. These are great because they fit inside our kit, but they're easily transportable. We can place them in our cash belt or hide them in our person and be able to treat water, make it safe to drink, and stay hydrated in a survival situation. But we take our tablets, put it in our bag. Once it's full of water, close the bag, shake it up, let it sit for typically 30 minutes, and then once it's ready, we open the bag, bleed the lid a little bit, and drink our water to stay hydrated out in the field, prevent dehydration and hyperthermia, and stay safe. Next is a bag of cotton balls and Vaseline that is waterproofed yet again. You can see all our fire items, or most of them, are going to be in their own container, waterproofed inside of our waterproof kit, which shows you how important fire is. But we have these cotton balls and Vaseline, very cheap, easy to use, that we can use for things to get warm and make an emergency fire. Next in our PSK is a little TTP that I use, or SOP, for my survival kits, and that's taking tape and then fashioning small individual kits for things like sewing kits and fishing kits. All we do is take those razors, wrap our thread or line around the razor, put all the hooks and safety pins and needles inside, and then fold it over on itself with pull tabs that we can actually open in an emergency. But we can use this kit also as a fishing kit for an emergency to get a meal, cook it, and eat. We can also use this technique to fold up razors as extra cutting tools to put inside our kit. Reflective boater's tape that is sticky on one side that we can peel off and adhere to a location is great for a passive static signal, especially if it's pre-planted and people are looking for it. Below that, we have a series of band-aids or plasters that we can use to put over minor abrasions and lacerations and scrapes. Stay safe out in the field. And then we have a Fresnel or Fresnel lens that we can use to harness the sun's rays and get a fire going using solar ignition. We just take this lens out in the full daylight, and with our tinder material already processed down, we just harness those sun's rays into a fine focused beam, ignite that material into an ember, and blow it into flame. And one more razor, just for good measure, a surgical razor. At the bottom of our kit, at the top where the actual cover hinge is a ferro rod pulled from a magnesium bar. We can use this with the 90-degree edge we put on our Buck 55 as a striker. A neat trick that we can put inside our kit that I've added for a while now is just those small chem lights that fit on your bobbers if you're fishing at nighttime. We can use these to see our map, see our kit in the dark, and maybe as an improvised signal to alert search and rescue. Lastly is a signaling mirror that we can use to alert search and rescue. Signaling mirrors are very good options for signaling, especially during daylight hours, obviously. But this mirror came from a face paint camo compact, and it's large, so it fits inside the bottom of our tin. All of these items we pulled out, the ones necessary, and cross-loaded in our uniform. And if you're worried about shelter, there really aren't any shelter items other than our tools and our PSK, but we can fold over saplings or kick debris together to form a nice debris shelter to get out of the elements and attempt to stay warm in a survival situation. Very possible, especially with that commando saw and that buck knife and a little bit of cordage. Alright guys, that is a down and dirty video for a PSK personal survival kit. I believe these kits can cross over from the military world into the civilian sector and be used very successfully if carried and knowledge is there. But I hope you liked this video. If you did like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment in the comment section. I always appreciate your feedback. I want to thank you guys for everything you do for me, for this channel, for your likes, your views, your subscriptions, your comments, your feedback, and your shares. And I'll be back with another video as soon as I can, guys. Thanks.